right, we live. It's Sporton on Ila TV. Welcome, guys. I'm Molani Akwankwa, and Brazil are out of the FIFA World Cup. I'm sure you're quite surprised about that. They lost to Croatia on penalties, 4 goals to 1. Regulation time ended 1-0. Neymar put Brazil ahead before Bruno Petkovic equalized for the Croatians. So gradually, the Croatians are progressing. Remember, they reached the 2018 finals, and here they are once again with all of the old guys: Modric, Brozovic, Dejan Lovren, Ivan Perisic. They are still, powering stronger. Later tonight is Argentina against the Netherlands. It's a tale of the traditional side and the underachievers. And the big message from Luis Van Gaal tonight to his boys is that we want to drop the underachiever tag and finally rewrite history. Great to have Tomiwa back. Tomiwa, how you doing? You looking tired? What's wrong with you?
Today was a bit stressful, honestly. But it's good to be here. It's good to be here. It's good to discuss the World Cup once again. I think we had a good game today between Croatia and Brazil, and then I'm actually not happy because Brazil was part of the team I picked, like part of the 3 teams I picked that were probably going to leave the trophy at the end of the day. But then I still have Holland, Netherlands. I am in the competition.
So you want Netherlands?
So let's see how it goes.
Because you are pro Portugal, right?
Yeah. Because I'm pro Portugal. So
but you don't like Ronaldo, so why are you still supporting Portugal?
I have Bruno Fernandes and Diogo Dalot there. So Ronaldo is not my player, but I have Manchester United player in that team that I
You are not a true African. You should be supporting Morocco.
Oh yeah.
You see?
The thing is, nobody actually gave Morocco a chance. I think Morocco they've done well for themselves, and if they should go past Portugal tomorrow, I think they will have done exceeding well for themselves. But so far so good. I don't see them doing that. But then it is football. They can shock us. They can decide to be the first African team ever to be in the semi-final of the World Cup. But let's say I'm not really giving them a chance in beating Portugal. But then I think they've gone far. They've gone far for themselves. They've gone far for Morocco as a country, and then the manager himself, he has done himself proud because he just came into the team before the World Cup, and then he didn't really have any meaningful interaction with these players. It was just the World Cup that just brought them together, and you can see what he has done. You can see how passionate he is when he's on the touchline, and you can see how the belief he has given this team, because the former manager did not bring Ziyech into this team. He integrated Ziyech back in this team, and we have seen how Ziyech has been playing and what they've done. So it's a good one for them. I don't see them beating Portugal tomorrow. But if they should do that, then I'll really be surprised, and probably I'll start tipping them tomorrow to win the World Cup.
Alright, it will be interesting to see what the Atlas Lions will do against the Portuguese, who have had a very not too exciting couple of days despite winning emphatically against Switzerland. The stories have surrounded Cristiano Ronaldo, and the big question is should Fernando Santos stick with his plan against Switzerland and continue with Carlos Ramos, that got an hat-trick against the Swiss, or better still get back Cristiano Ronaldo back into the team? That's a big question that Santos will have to answer tomorrow. We need to go on a break. When we come back, we talk the Croatia-Brazil game. If you missed out, the Seleção are out for the FIFA World Cup, and they wouldn't be adding to the 5 titles they won in Qatar.
But Djokovic was making the running.
Look out, Kevin De Bruyne!
running.
Look out below!
But Djokovic was making the running.
Look out below! Kevin De Bruyne! Oh, brilliant! That is magnificent! Game changer!
Unfortunately, the Seleção are out of the FIFA World Cup. They were beaten by 2018 runner-ups Croatia, who won via the penalties, and this is their second penalty shootout that Croatia will be progressing with. Remember, they defeated Japan in the round of 16, and yes, once again they have gotten to the last four of the tournament via the penalty shootout. And Tomiwa, it's all about Brazil, who unfortunately with their stars, with the big names they brought to Qatar, their hopes of winning another world title, the sixth one actually, are settled in the quarterfinals.
And honestly, yeah, I feel really bad analyzing this because I really wanted Brazil to get their
Everybody
hands,
wanted them to get as far as possible.
to get their hands on that trophy, because I feel like this was the moment, this was the time. They have all the machinery, they have all the players. I really feel bad for Neymar, but then looking at the game, I couldn't watch the game, but I think I watched a few clips towards the end of the game, and then I felt like they were not playing very well, because I remember when Neymar scored the goal, the commentator even said it was an individual brilliance of Neymar that got them the goal. So in my mind I was like, oh, for them to say this, that means Brazil has not really played well in this game. And then looking at the Croatia side, they did this last year, if I'm not mistaken, 2018, if I'm not mistaken, and I think we discussed this in the studio when we started the show, that if Croatia should get past the group stage, we should not be surprised that they might eventually end up in the final, because that was what they did in 2018. Because 2018 they were in Nigeria's group, they were in Nigeria, Argentina, Croatia, and I think Iceland in that group. And then the first match they won, the second match they drew, and then I think they lost. But then they made their way out of that group till they got to.
I think they had a great group stage. They finished tops of that group.
They had a
beat
good
Argentina.
Stage. Yes.
Beat Nigeria.
They beat
I think they won all of their 3 games.
No, they drew one.
Okay, they drew against Iceland.
Yes, they drew
won against Argentina 3-0.
Yes, and they won
beat
against
Nigeria 2-0.
Yes. And immediately they left that group, they started winning through penalties, and then
won against Denmark.
They won against Denmark. They won against England.
The semi-finals.
And then they just go to the final. And now they started this. They started the same style again. They won against they won penalties against Japan. They won against Brazil. Now they probably face whoever wins between Netherlands and Argentina this night. And that will be on Tuesday. So it's a good one for them. I'm proud of the coach. I think he has done a good job. That's league. I think the fact that he's still maintaining the squad of 2018, but he just
and that's one thing that is quite surprising, because you look at that Croatian side, majority of the players that were there in 2018, maybe not larger part of them are there, but the core are still there. But in terms of age, they're on the wrong side of 30. Modric, is the captain, is 37. Ivan Perisic is not any younger. Dejan Lovren is old. Even Brozovic, who looks like a relatively younger player, is not even that young. And see how far they've gone. I'm sure all of the predictions we had at the beginning of the tournament, everybody would never have thought that Croatia would be at this stage.
I think for me, what matters most is just the squad harmony and the score and the team spirit. I think the team spirit of 2018 is still there. I think they are still odds with the fact that they got to the final and they couldn't get their hand on the trophy, and now they are gunning for it. There's that anger in them, there's that fire in them that, oh, we got to the final, we got to the last day, we were very, very close to get our hand on this trophy, and now let's just go past this phase that we go to, and then let's get our hand on this trophy this time around. So I feel like the team spirit is still there, the harmony between the players are still there, and now they are more hungrier to get the success than they were in 2018. So that's what I don't feel. I don't think the fact that players are old, I feel like they might be old in age, but they are still the same style, the same players that we knew in 2018. The Modric of 2018, even though now it seems older, it's still the same Modric that played today. And we saw how he slotted in his penalty. And then we saw with the Perisic of 2018, it's still the same Perisic we are seeing. So I just feel like it's still the team spirit. They are more hungrier to get the gold this time around. And I feel like if they should continue doing this way, they'll probably get to the final again. And then the final is anything can happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the final.
All right, it's very difficult to not to put Croatia back into the conversation. If you've beaten Brazil, of course you have to watch out for them. Let's talk about Brazil. Many people have said that this is the best set of players they've had since 2002 set, where of course they won the World Cup in Korea and Japan, and we had high hopes for them. Neymar probably his last World Cup, but apart from Neymar, he's had other support cast, more younger, Vinicius, Rafinha, Rodrigo Goes, even in midfield, Casemiro, Fred, Paqueta, Guimarães from Newcastle, and the rest. So much expectations was on this team, and the name that jumps out, if you were mentioning the favorite, of course, was Brazil. And after 4 games or after 5 games plus the Croatian tournament, I'm sure that the Tite and the boys will look at themselves and feel disappointed.
I think one thing we said on Monday when we were in the studio was the fact that no team has actually impressed us 100% in this World Cup, and I think both of us agreed on that on Monday. And then we can't really say that, we can't really point out to that team that has really done spectacularly well.
Maybe England?
Even England, they haven't really done, they've not been that fascinating. And we both know
but they are yet to taste defeat.
They are yet to taste defeat, but then they've not really been 100% okay. We know that they still have their flaws, and they can easily be taken out anytime. But then looking at this Brazil side, I'm feeling bad because I feel like this is the best talent they could ever have gotten to the World Cup at this stage. But then we know Brazil, they will always come up with other amazing players in the next World Cup. But I just feel like this World Cup, a lot of people expected more from them, and they've not really given us that expectation that we expect of them. If you're looking at the game against I think South Korea, that was really game. I think they showed that okay, this is what they were made of. They've not really made us feel like this is the Brazil that we knew.
Struggled.
The Brazil,
even in group stage.
They struggled, and they struggled to play in the group stage, and then they even lost to Cameroon, and nobody even saw that coming. Even with the fact that it was the third last match of the group stage, but then they didn't really play well. They were not really convincing. I've not really been convinced with their performance, except the South Korean game. And then so seeing them lose to Croatia today, I don't feel bad, but then I just feel like I expected more from them. We all expected them to go far. We don't expect them to be losing to Croatia penalty shooter. They should have actually won that game earlier than expected. At least they were leading 1-0 at extra time. They could have seal it out and then just do something, and then they'll be in the semi-final. But lack of concentration, simple mistake, and then they are not in the semi-final. So for me, I also like they have these good players, they have these experienced players, but I don't know.
Can they recover from this loss?
I really don't know, because I feel like after this World Cup, a lot of managers are going to be resigning, and then it's going to be a new phase. We saw Enrique. We're probably going to see with probably France or
Martinez has also left Belgium.
So this is it, and I'm sure Tite is going to probably leave, because Brazil getting to the quarter-final of the World Cup is not a good omen. I'm very sure that Tite will probably leave the job, and then a new coach will come in and start building from the scratch. So it's really not going to be easy.
But Moses said they have
all
a
those
good
things.
They
have a good set of young players, and then let's not discredit the fact that even if you have good players and you don't have a good coach to tutor these players, it's probably not going to end well. We saw the likes. We knew how Argentina had all the players in 2010, and they had Diego Maradona, and the World Cup didn't go well. Another example is Sampoli. They had a very, very good team in that World Cup. It didn't end well. So that is, if you have a good team and then you don't have a good coach to tutor the players on how to play, on how to execute the plans, it probably won't end well. So now I'm very, very, and I don't know who's going to be the next coach of Brazil, but I'm sure Tite might not retain that job because everybody in Brazil right now will not be happy with that performance. I will not be happy with a quarter-final exist. I'm sure about that.
All right, Matite looks like he's a goner, considering this huge failure. But Croatians are celebrating and they are waiting patiently for the winner of Argentina and the Netherlands tonight. It's all about Lavi Celeste, who, just like Brazil, were out of the tournament, are yet to light up the competition in Qatar. Before the World Cup, they were on that streak. I think 36 games unbeaten, and everybody was rooting for them. Fresh from winning the Copa America, beat Italy in that tournament between Europe, that cup final between Europe and of course South America.
Yeah.
Now they got to Qatar, lost their first game against Saudi Arabia, struggled against Poland, struggled against Mexico in their last game. They could have lost the game against Australia if not for first Lisandro Martinez, who had that block, and the goalkeeper Martinez, who had that big save in the last minutes of that encounter. Now they face a Dutch side who have wowed several people. They might not be as talented as the 2010 set of players that got to the finals, but this team is very united.
I think you asked me a question on why I said it, why I was picking Netherlands to be my favorite. I know Louis van Gaal. Louis van Gaal is a very, very good manager. He's tactically sound.
But he failed at United.
He failed at United because of, we know the reasons why he failed at United, because of probably the the owners of United, the hierarchy. It was more than his power. But then we know how good Louis van Gaal, he has proved it everywhere. So him being, when he was announced as the Netherlands coach, when the former Barcelona coach Ronald Koeman left, I knew Netherlands was going to, they are probably bad, because when Ronald Koeman was there, they were in the Netherlands that we all knew. I think that was why he lost his job. But now when Louis van Gaal came in, he came in with a new style, with a new identity, and now they are playing like the Holland we saw in the 2014 World Cup when they go to the semi-final of the tournament. So now seeing them against Argentina this night, I've not been impressed with Argentina. I won't even deny that fact. But then when there is a Messi on show, when there is a Messi is on the pitch, you can never don't ever rule out that game.
For how long will they continue to rely on Messi?
for as long as he still plays for the Argentina national team, they will keep relying on him. That's sure, because even the game against Mexico, it was lack of concentration from the Mexico players, and then Messi just slid the ball into the net. So when you are playing with a Messi on the pitch, you just have to be concentrated 100%. And then I saw the starting 11 while I was walking into the studio, and in my mind I'm like, this is going to be another long night, because it's going to be another boring game, and they might probably end with another penalty, because both teams are playing the same tactics. They are using 3 at the back, 5, and then 2 strikers, and that's the same formation Argentina is in, that's the same formation Netherlands is in. So both of them want to be cautious and they will not want to make mistakes. So it will be very, very difficult for us to see a lot of goals in that game. I'm really not predicting a lot of goals in that game. I'm probably predicting 1-0 or 0-0. Then we get to extra time, but then I would love to see Netherlands make it to the semi-final.
We know that Lionel Messi will be the key man for Argentina in this game. What do you think would be the difference for the Dutch side tonight?
That's got to be Memphis Depay.
Cody Gakpo, who has scored 3 goals.
Cody Gakpo is also an important player in that team, but you can't take anything away from Memphis Depay in that their forward line. When he didn't start the first 2 games, and we saw how they struggled to score goals in their first 2 matches of the World Cup, but then Cody Gakpo came up. But now that he's back, started the last game, is starting today. He's going to be up front with Steve Bergwijn. So we probably see something different from the Dutch national team, and then we are seeing a lot of pace in that front line. We have Cody Gakpo, we have Steven Bergwijn, and we have Memphis Depay. So the Argentine defense should have to be very, very wary of that front line, because it is very, very tricky and very pacey. So they have to be very, very cautious. So you're looking at that team, and then you have the Argentine team also. They have Messi and Julian Alvarez. Lautaro Martinez has dropped to the bench since the second game
He's been poor.
He has been very, very poor to the tournament. But then I've not been really impressed with Julian Alvarez too. But it is a decision for,
I think it's quite better than Lautaro Martinez.
It is a decision for Lionel Scaloni to make, and he has been making that decision so far, and it has been paying for him. He made a decision against the round of 16 match against Australia, and he worked out against Mexico in the third group stage game of the tournament. So let's say he's going to pan out today. But me personally, I want Netherlands to be in in the semi-finals.
All right, the history book doesn't really favor the Argentines because the last time they got past the quarterfinals was when they reached the finals in 2014. In 2018, they were well beaten by France in the round of 16, and in 2010 they couldn't get past the quarterfinals, lost to Germany emphatically by 4 goals to 0. So they are really riding against history, and interestingly, all the teams that have dumped them out in the last 8 of the tournament has been European. They face another European side tonight. Let's see what they do. Now let's concentrate on what will happen tonight. Africa is on a way to history because we still have an African representative, which of course is Morocco. The Atlas Lions are the 4th African side to have got into the quarterfinals after the likes of Cameroon, Senegal, and of course Ghana that did that in 2010. And the whole African continent is behind the Moroccans, who have shown grit. One of the 2 sides who are yet to taste defeat in this tournament. They finished out of a very difficult group, beat a very, maybe not largely talented Spanish side, but quite better than them tactically. And now they face a Portuguese side who has really shown their hands after they pushed 6 past South Korea in the round of 16.
I've always said that the Portuguese national team is a very good team. The only problem they have is they don't want to drop Ronaldo. If Portugal should stop playing Ronaldo, they'll probably win this World Cup because the talent is there in that team. They have all the players, but then there's a Ronaldo that always want to play and always want to start, and then that is where the problem comes in.
I'm sure you've been following all that has been happening.
Yes, I've been following all that has been happening, and then it doesn't. That's the problem. That's what he did when he was at Manchester United. He doesn't want to be on the bench. That's what happens when you have a player like Ronaldo. He always wants to start, and he doesn't want to understand that you as a player, you are not going to probably start all the games in the world. It is high time you understand that, okay, fine, you are at this particular age.
Do you think Portugal has disrespected him? Because that's what the sister is saying. That if you have the Ronaldo, who is the all-time highest goal scorer of the team,
enough of all these disrespects that we keep hearing. If you are a player and you are not performing, you are just scored 1 World Cup goal in this World Cup, and it is a penalty. The matches that he has played, he has not been convincing, he has not been performing. And then Gonzalo Ramos came and he scored a hat-trick in his first game. And then somebody probably tell me that Gonzalo Ramos should not start the next game because there's a Ronaldo there that has more experience than him. No, this is not about experience at this stage. This is about who's going to get the job done for you. This is about who's going to get you the World Cup. When Portugal wins the World Cup, Ronaldo is probably going to be hailed as the favorite player ever. So he should just suck up his pride and just allow this team to win the World Cup for him if he can't win it for them. So enough of all this disrespecting Ronaldo.
Any chance for Morocco tomorrow?
I don't see them doing it. Like I said earlier when we started the show, I don't really see them beating Portugal tomorrow because I feel like they've done far for themselves. I think they've achieved what they can achieve. They've been in the quarterfinals. Yeah. But if they should go ahead and beat Portugal tomorrow, then I'll see them. Then I'll know that they've done exceedingly well. Then probably tomorrow I'll not throw all my weight behind Morocco winning the World Cup. But then I don't really see them doing anything spectacular tomorrow. I feel like they've done well for themselves. I think Spain would have actually defeated them if they had they played to instruction, but they were playing more passes. We know how Enrique actually caused them that game, and I was happy that he blamed himself after the match. So looking at the game tomorrow, Portugal should get a win in that match and then move to the semi-final.
Your 2 cents on the last game tomorrow. It's France against England. England want to win their first World Cup since '66, and France wants to become maybe the first team in a while that have done back-to-back World Cups. Where do you think that game will end?
Someone asked me this question today, and I was in the middle. I was in between because I don't know who to pick. Because both teams are not really that convincing. They are not that good. They are like
let me tell you my preference. I love England. After Argentina, for obvious reasons, I think England should win the World Cup.
Your choice, your opinion. But me personally, I would love France to do the.
So let me get your predictions for the game that will be coming out shortly and the 2 games tomorrow. Netherlands, Argentina will progress.
Netherlands.
Morocco, Portugal, and England, France. Who goes?
France.
All right, there you have the prediction. Tomiwa sticking out his neck for Portugal to beat Morocco. and France to get the job done against the Three Lions. Argentina against Netherlands will come through any minute from now. Enjoy those games. We'll be back up Monday. I really dissect all that has happened. Enjoy the rest of the week night.
But Djokovic was making the running.